Good morning. May 11th, Tuesday morning. Welcome everyone this morning. Hope you are having a good start to your day. I haven't seen any names yet. I see some numbers popping up. We'll see who the first name appears. Hey, there's Wendy Chadwick. Jeremy and Wendy, welcome to you today. Don Hoverson, good morning to you. Mike and Joe Stromberg, welcome. Good morning, Mother. Good to see you this morning. Jim and Kathy, welcome. Lori Agassi, good to see you this morning. Dana Kreshock, good morning. Deanne Fine, good morning. Alyssa Tucker, good morning. Brandy, good to see you. Welcome, everyone. Carmen, good morning to you. Steve and Andrea, welcome this morning. Barbara Richardson and Harry, good morning. Debbie King, good to see you all. Welcome, everyone. Oh, and Christian, too. Welcome, Christian Tucker. Any of the boys there? Graham and Chase, good to see you this morning, if you are there. Well, so we are in part 2 of a week-long series of processing emotions. So I think it's good, occasionally in this, we got a whole year under our belts now of doing these devotions, and so I think it's healthy once in a while to stop and do maybe these little, like we did a while back with regard to the Sermon on the Mount and things like that. Do these little thematic weeks. And so this week's theme is learning how to process our emotions. And not that I'm a guru at this or, I'm not a therapist or something like that. But I have my own journey, and that over the last 3+ years has taken me from a point of extreme difficulty and we'll have to go back further than that. Just a very trying existence where I just had my head down and I was just grinding it out day in, day out, and feeling very intense negative emotions all the time, while on the outside putting on a game face. I got this. I'm doing, trying to present a successful, positive, I've got it together life, while internally there was a tremendous amount of stress and anxiety, fear, which is obviously the primary emotion of anxiety, and stress. And I couldn't hold it together. So when I go back to 3 years ago, that was when a tragedy in my life cracked open my soul, and I just couldn't control. I didn't have a sense of control anymore, as if I had control at all. I don't know if you can hear there's a motorcycle just went by down there. It's pretty loud. I don't know if you can hear that. Let it go by. And so it started me on this journey, and I took this sabbatical, as you well know, which just ended up being the foundation of what I'm imagining going to be a lifelong journey of growth in my inner world, which is just in the last 3+ years. I've seen so much positive life change in how I perceive the world and how I experience the world. It's just been so good. So yesterday we talked about understanding that there are more than just good and bad emotions. In fact, we probably shouldn't even label emotions themselves as good and bad, because most of them are bad. If you think about the primary emotions, I'm just going to name the 4 primaries that I experience all the time, and that is happiness. We don't have any problem with that. We all like being happy. But then what do you do with fear, anger, and sadness? And yesterday I introduced the idea that these emotions can actually be helpful. They're not bad. They just feel bad. They are uncomfortable. And so as we begin this journey, we have to start addressing this in our life. At least for me, I had to relabel what these emotions were. Not only understanding what they were, but relabeling them from a negative idea to actually a positive way of thinking. And so, just to give you a little bit more of where I was at 5 years ago, 9 years ago, when I first took on this lead pastor role, I was very reluctant to step into this position. I had lots of fears about what the position would feel like, and then when I actually got in the position, I just felt this tremendous weight of responsibility that, the success or failure of Grace Fellowship was on my shoulders. I was ultimately responsible. I mean, I had a lot of great people, team of people, and all. I mean, the same as today. I mean, just the people of Grace are amazing. But I personally had this sense of this is on my shoulders. The success or failure, it's going to come down to me. So I felt this really heavy weight. Also, I felt very responsible for everyone else's spiritual, emotional, and relational well-being. I'm responsible for everyone's happiness, for everyone's sense of satisfaction, to solve people's problems, to help resolve relational conflicts, to give people all the tools to enjoy life to its fullest. Well, under the weight of those responsibilities, I had so much stress and anxiety. Sunday afternoons, Martha knew, you don't talk about ministry. After church, I was so to the top stressed out and exhausted because of the effort that went into Sunday morning, that she just knew, we don't talk about the message. I don't even want to hear good things about my message. We just don't talk about it. And I'm going to distract myself, suppress, medicate, whatever it takes to not think about what I'm feeling and to not feel what I'm feeling until I just want to go to bed and not wake up for a long time, until when I wake up, maybe the day will look better. And usually Monday did. But that was my weekly existence. And then during the week, the pressure would build all week long. And I just was putting on the game face day in, day out, pretending like everything was fine, all the while incorporating and developing all these coping mechanisms to, fake it until you make it, of suppressing, putting off, medicating, escape, avoid, procrastinate, all of these things that just try to get rid of all this negative, uncomfortable, bad feelings of stress and anxiety. And it's just like a tea kettle, right? You put a cork in that lid and it's bubbling, and the steam is going to blow, and it would blow at times, not just in like angry outbursts, but where I just feel like I had to to completely get away and escape and try to find some little ray of sunshine somewhere, all the while smiling and telling people how great life was and ministry's doing well, doing good, and the people closest to me, I kept pushing away further and further and further. You just can't know what's in my heart. So these coping mechanisms of suppressing, avoiding, putting off, procrastinating, medicating, escaping, just weren't serving me, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. So what is an essential thing? I build this big thing up for you guys this morning, right? So what is an essential thing? What's an essential tool to help turn the corner, to start dismantling I had a lot of distorted thinking, right? That needed to be changed. I had to get deeper as to like, why am I feeling these things? But I wasn't ready. That's step 2, 3, 4, 5. That's down the road. Where do we start when we're dealing with anxiety, stress, anger, any kind of uncomfortable emotion, sadness, fear, disappointment, all of these things? Where do we start? We start by, I suggested we relabel these emotions as not negative, not bad, but simply uncomfortable, And then we move into, and this is why I've entitled today's devotion the way I did. We move toward a willingness to feel them. We hold on to our emotion and bring them close to us and say, all right, I'm willing to feel these things. I'm going to feel these emotions, and I'm going to begin to change my thinking about them. Not that they're just bad and negative and they're uncomfortable, but they're a part of what it feels like to be alive. To experience the beauty and wonder and all of the range of emotion that God has given us. To love others deeply doesn't only include happiness, satisfaction, contentment. But to love others deeply also means that we will have to deal with disappointment, loss, sadness, as we move with compassion toward others and in our community. And we're going to feel these deep, uncomfortable emotions at times. And that's a part of how God has wired us. That's a part of experiencing the beauty of the world that we live in and the beauty of human experience, the beauty of human relationship. We have to include these uncomfortable emotions as a part of that rich understanding of being alive. And if we are willing to do that, that's step one. Is just when I'm feeling this, and this is when my brother-in-law Matthew and Sheila, they first moved into the area. Matthew is a life coach and spiritual director, or however you want to call his position. This is what he does, is help people walk through their life and walk through their emotions and so on. So he and I sat down and he felt really that God had led him to this area to really come alongside me for a period of time to say, how can I help you? I have all these tools. How can I use them to help you, Mark? So I said, well, here's one thing you can do. Sunday after church, every single week, I feel awful. I feel all of this anxiety, all of this stress. Can you just make that go away? What can I do to fix that? And one of the things he said, like the very first time we talked about it, he goes, I don't think the solution necessarily right now is to fix it. He says, why don't we just start with you being okay with it and say, just feel it, hold on to it, and just let it be present in you. Don't spend all this energy pushing it away and keeping it out there. That's a lot of energy we're expending trying to resist and suppress and push off and medicate and distract, and let it actually bring it in and hold it and just get comfortable being uncomfortable. Grow in your ability to feel these things and just experience it. And it seems counterintuitive, at least it did to me. But I tell you, for the last several years of practicing this very simple tool of every time I feel stressed, every time I feel anxiety, every time I feel anger, every time I feel disappointment, it's like, okay, hello, anxiety. Just to be able to willingly experience it. And the second half of this step is being willing to experience it in a non-judgmental way. We're not saying, being judgmental about our emotions is saying, I should feel a certain way or I should not feel a certain way. I shouldn't be feeling these things. Why am I feeling these things? I just want them to go away. Or I ought to feel different. If I really were a believer, I wouldn't feel stressed out right now. I'd just be trusting God, right? If I were really a Christian, I wouldn't be angry about my disappointing relationships, right? The brokenness of relationships in my life. I wouldn't be angry about that. And if I were really trusting in the Lord, I wouldn't fear anything. If I were really trusting the Lord, I wouldn't be anxious. If I really were a Christian, I would not be depressed. but to experience these things with a non-judgmental attitude. To say, it's not what I ought to be feeling or I shouldn't be feeling. It's just that I am feeling these things. And just to say, hello, fear, hello, anger. I see you. I recognize that you're there. And in order to pull this off, have a non-judgmental attitude about it, is that we have to detach. We have to almost imagine yourself as this third-party person who's just, I put on my lab coat. I'm like a little mini scientist, right? And I'm observing my life. And I'm thinking, oh, look, that emotion just entered the room. That's interesting. And that's all I do. That's step one, to say, yeah, you just got angry at that what that person said. That's interesting. That's all I'm doing, is recognizing my emotions and just feeling them, being willing to feel them without judgment. Just to say, okay, Lord, I can experience these things. I can be uncomfortable because these emotions are actually going to be helpful to me. They're actually, in many cases, very appropriate to feel. If I just experience loss and disappointment, I'm going to feel sad. If I did something wrong, I'm going to feel guilty. If someone has wronged me, or I'm going to feel angry. Or if I have a sense of wrong, someone has wronged me, even if I'm not right about it, I'm going to feel angry. So these are normal, helpful emotions to us, though they are uncomfortable. So step one in processing emotions is to not necessarily suppress, avoid, put off, medicate, escape. That was all how I tried to manage it before, and it was not helpful. But step one was simply, I'm going to feel this right now. I'm going to feel sad. I'm going to feel this grief. I'm going to feel, it's like, oh, look I felt angry when this experience happened, or that person said something. Wow, that's interesting. And we don't even ask the question why. Why am I feeling this? That's, again, another step down the road. But initially, coming to peace with being human, coming to a sense of peace with being alive, coming to a sense of peace with the fact that I'm going to feel uncomfortable times, and that's the beauty of being human. That's the beauty of being alive. That's the wonder of the range of emotions that God has given us. Though it feels uncomfortable, we learn to move into that space of discomfort and hold our emotions. That is step one to a healthy way of processing emotions, rather than the unhealthy way, which I did for years, and it did not do anything well for my well-being, was to suppress, push off, avoid, medicate, escape these uncomfortable emotions. So give it a try. And it's something that takes practice. You're not going to get it. It's not going to feel good initially. It takes practice. But only in just 3 short years for me, I've experienced such change. I experienced so much more happiness, so much more contentment, because I don't get so discontent when I'm uncomfortable. I was like, yep, there it is. There's some uncomfortable emotions, and I'm going to feel them. And I can still be content. I can still be satisfied. So anyway, that's today, and we're going to take another step in the journey tomorrow. Lord bless you guys. We'll see you again in the morning.